Hello and welcome to Brodual. This time we have the atmosphere section of our Requiem series. This episode will focus on general changes to the world of Skyrim, including other miscellaneous features like thievery, races, animals, transformations and more. Right from the start of your playthrough you'll be able to notice some changes to the game world. Requiem offers a more fleshed out Helgen, and you'll be able to find a wider variety of loot available, as well as some more background information in the form of books and notes. However, Requiem changes more than just Helgen, and you'll find hundreds of hand-placed items and creatures scattered across the world. The items and creatures were chosen based on a variety of things. Some were purely for atmospheric reasons and others to balance the early quests. On the other side of that, certain quests will have been edited to be harder. For example, the Daedric quest will now include higher level enemies. Requiem also changes the user interface. In general, it removes anything that suggests you're actually playing a game. So, for example, any HUD related loading screens have been removed, and you'll now only receive lore friendly messages. Player messages have also been changed from third person to first person, so you'll be able to hear your player's thoughts on certain situations. There's also unique effects for your character's state of mind, so if you're poisoned, drunk or on drugs you'll be able to see the new visuals. And of course, as you've probably noticed, Requiem comes with its own RPG themed font. The mod also wants to promote exploration, and to do that it disables your ability to fast travel. It also slows down the game time by half, so now every 1 minute in real life is 10 minutes in game instead of 20. However, to make up for the lack of fast travelling, the mod makes a variety of changes to horses. You can now store items in your horse's saddle. They'll sprint for much longer and faster, and they'll avoid combat more often. So horses are now a viable option for long range travelling. On top of that, instant travel is still possible through carts and new teleport spells. Animals in general have been changed quite a bit. You'll now be able to find the same animal in a variety of different sizes. Animal factions have also been changed, so you'll encounter different animals like spiders and skeevers fighting each other if they get close enough. All animal loot has been changed to make it more realistic, so instead of gold you'll find things like fur, intestines and other natural items. The extra animal carcass loot works well alongside the changes to the races. That's because Orcs, Bosmer, Khajiit and Argonians now come with a new strong stomach ability that not only lets them eat raw meat but also give them bonuses like regen. All races now come with different stats, from health, magicka, regen rates, unarmed damage, carry weight, speed and more. Many other racial abilities have also been changed and added. For example, Nords come with an ability called the Dragon Within that lets them shout for 5 seconds without triggering cooldowns. And Wood Elves have a cannibalism ability that makes certain enemies drop special strange meat, which you can eat to gain buffs. We'll leave the rest of the abilities for you to read for yourself in the race menu. Werewolves and vampires have also had their fair share of changes. They'll both be able to make use of the strong stomach ability, allowing them to eat raw meat. On top of that, the changes made mostly focus on balancing realism and roleplay. Werewolves now have slightly tweaked abilities, so for example they're much less likely to be knocked back. They also have more health and are faster. Vampires have a much longer list of changes. They'll now receive much less damage from non-bladed weapons, and the amount of fall damage they take has been reduced. They also come with extra benefits like extra health and increased regen. However, most vampiric powers have been nerfed, and there's now much bigger penalties for being in daylight, so much that it could kill you depending on your vampiric stage. As we already covered in the skills and perks video, you'll need at least the starter perks before certain things like lockpicking or enchanting are viable. Trading is another feature that'll be hugely affected if you're missing speechcraft perks. Merchants can notice a sucker a mile off, and they won't hold back from ripping you off if they think they can. Merchants will now also carry a dynamic amount of loot depending on their location. So, for example, you're more likely to find dwarven oil in the region of Markarth. Most stationed merchants will also have their wares stored in special chests. So if you're a master locksmith, then perhaps you can get your hands on some great loot. Speaking of thievery, don't even bother trying to pickpocket anyone without the starter perks, otherwise you'll find yourself in a jail cell. You'll also have to take your armor into account. Sneaking up on somebody wearing it is virtually impossible unless you're a master in the art. There's a variety of other smaller changes too that were mainly made for role-playing purposes. For example, when you leave your player home it'll automatically be locked, so be sure to keep a hold of your key, otherwise you'll find yourself locked out. Cleared dungeons will also stop spawning any monsters, so after you're done you can claim it as your own home or hideout. There are so many more changes, but we'll let you discover them for yourselves in game. And that's the end of this section. With Requiem you'll find Skyrim is a place where no location should go unnoticed, and the mod offers a more fleshed out experience. The smaller changes are also nice too, and any role player will appreciate what the mod tries to achieve. So if you've yet to try out Requiem, then you can find links to it down below. The next episode will focus on changes to items, and then we'll wrap the series up with the outro video. So until then, be sure to leave endorsements on any mod you enjoy using, and thanks for watching.